We are following some breaking news right now. Brand new reaction to the Supreme Court hearing arguments on President Trump's attempt to fire a Federal Reserve governor. The president announcing back in August he was firing Lisa Cook based on alleged mortgage fraud, allegations that Cook denies. The case could have wide-reaching impacts on the independence of the central bank, which has been, as you know, a frequent target of the president. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt is live for us at the Supreme Court. So, Hannah, what more can you tell us about this reaction? And the reaction is coming from Lisa Cook herself.
Nichole, you're right. It certainly is. Now, this, as you mentioned, is all adding to that drama that we've seen play out between President Trump and the Federal Reserve as he sort of pushes the Fed to continue to lower interest rates. Now, arguments inside of the court behind me lasted for about 2 hours today as the justices heard the case for why the Trump administration says it does have the power to fire Lisa Cook. But what was really interesting was the tough questions that we heard from the justices from both sides of the bench, both liberal and conservative justices, asking some really tough, pointed questions to the Trump administration, suggesting that they were questioning the validity of President Trump's firing. Now, I want to take you back to where this all started, which was over the summer when President Trump announced via Truth Social that he was planning to fire Federal Reserve Federal Reserve Governor, Lisa Cook, because the Trump administration had accused her of mortgage fraud. The president said that he had fired her for what he called deceitful and potentially criminal conduct. This was really an unprecedented move, though. He became the first sitting president who's ever tried to remove a member of the Fed board. Cook sued over the firing. That's how we got here today. Her lawyers have denied those accusations of mortgage fraud. They argue this is all politically motivated. And she herself, as you mentioned, just released a statement after arguments were finished here, where she said this case is about whether the Federal Reserve will set key interest rates guided by evidence and independent judgment or will succumb to political pressure. She also added in her statement that she plans to uphold the principle of political independence in service to the American people. Now, as I mentioned, inside of the court, justices certainly directing some tough questions to the Trump administration over how this firing could hurt the economy by potentially damaging the perception of Fed independence. In particular, we heard Justice Jackson then raise some doubts about the cause for firing Cook. Take a listen.
The question is, to what extent do we believe that the president or the public is harmed by allowing Ms. Cook to remain in her position for the pendency of this case? I'm not sure that we have evidence here that Ms. Cook is an immediate threat to the public, that she's been in this position for a long time. The kinds of things that you're pointing to, as Justice Sotomayor indicates, are not related to conduct while in office.
But it wasn't just the liberal justices offering skepticism here. We also heard from the conservative side of the bench, Justice Kavanaugh raising the issue of what precedent this might set.
If this were set as a precedent, it seems to me, just thinking big picture, what goes around comes around. All of the current president's appointees would likely be removed for cause on January 20th, 2029, if there's a Democratic president, or January 20th, 2033. And then we're really at-will removal. So what are we doing here?
And so now we're left waiting for the justice's ultimate ruling, Nichole.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.